Hello and welcome to the Insightful Moments Podcast, special series. Over the past several episodes, we've talked about different forms of social capital and how they influence destination organizations. We've talked about structural capital, relational capital, cognitive, bonding, as well as bridging social capital. But today, we're going to explore something that sits right at the intersection of those ideas. A concept that helps explain how new ideas actually enter tourism ecosystems. That concept is called the strength of weak ties. This idea comes from sociologist Mark Granovetter, who made a fascinating discovery about how information moves through networks. Now, most of us assume that our strongest relationships are the most valuable. Our closest colleagues, our trusted partners, and our core professional network. But Granovetter discovered something different. Many of the most important opportunities people encounter, new ideas, new jobs, new collaborations, often arrive through weaker relationships. These weak ties act as bridges between networks, allowing new information to flow into the system. So today, we're going to talk about how weak ties influence something extremely important for destination organizations: the flow of intellectual capital. But before we go further, let's clarify what we mean by intellectual capital. Intellectual capital refers to the ideas, insights, knowledge, and innovations that help organizations make better decisions and adapt to changing environments. In tourism, intellectual capital might appear as new marketing strategies, visitor experiences, technology adoption, partnerships, or new ways of understanding traveler behavior. The key insight is that intellectual capital doesn't simply appear inside an organization. It flows into the organization through networks. The structure of those networks determines how much new knowledge enters the system. Most destination ecosystems are built around strong internal relationships. DMOs regularly collaborate with hotels, attractions, convention centers, city leadership, and regional tourism partners. These are strong ties, characterized by frequent interaction, high trust, and shared goals. Strong ties enable coordination and collaboration, but they also have a limitation. People within these dense networks often know the same people and access the same information sources. The network becomes dense, but redundant. Everyone attends the same conferences, reads the same reports, and talks to the same stakeholders. The system becomes very good at executing known strategies, but less effective at discovering new ones. Weak ties connect the destination ecosystem to other networks, such as universities, technology companies, more creative industries, startup ecosystems, media organizations, and even global tourism thought leaders. Those networks contain different perspectives and new information. When tourism leaders build relationships across these networks, they create bridges between knowledge systems. Through these new bridges, new intellectual capital enters the destination ecosystem. Weak ties act as intellectual pipelines carrying ideas from one network into another. So let's imagine a destination marketing leader who attends only tourism conferences and interacts primarily with other DMOs, other hoteliers, and other tourism consultants. Those relationships are valuable, but the ideas circulating in that network are often very similar. Now imagine that same leader builds relationships with a tourism technology startup founder, or a film industry producer, a university mobility researcher, or possibly even a data analytics firm. Suddenly, the destination is exposed to entirely new perspectives and opportunities. Ideas about smart tourism technology, immersive storytelling, visitor flow management, and data-driven marketing may enter the ecosystem through those weak ties. Now, for destination leaders, managing tourism networks is not just about maintaining strong internal relationships. It's also about expanding the network's intellectual boundaries. Leaders can do this by building connections with universities, innovators, entrepreneurs, researchers, media professionals, and cultural organizations. Weak ties may not involve frequent interaction, but they often produce high-value insights because they introduce new information into the system. If strong ties help a destination run efficiently, weak ties help a destination evolve. Strong ties create trust and coordination. Weak ties create innovation and intellectual capital. Healthy destination ecosystems require both. Because the ideas that shape the future of tourism rarely originate from the center of the network, they usually arrive from the edges. Through relationships that connect destinations to new industries, communities, and perspectives. That's the strength of weak ties. That's it for now, and thanks for joining me on this episode of Insightful Moments.